This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstye Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 7, Episode 1, New Year, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington on YouTube. I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington Commanders and life around town with the mighty Hogstye Network on audio and on YouTube on video. So please like, share, subscribe, comment, even hit the thanks button. All right, Matt, Washington Commanders kicked off and it was 23-21 loss to the Carolina Panthers, but overall for a first preseason game wasn't bad. The starters played about 20 snaps, saw a few decent things. You saw a quarterback come out of nowhere that I like, and overall it was a decent day. Yeah,
and it was a couple standouts. You know, we have our August hype train starting for Sam Howell, and I really like the fourth running back. I think he'll probably beat out Jared Patterson, and that's Williams. That kid ran pretty hard. Brian Robinson is gonna be a star in this town after what he did yesterday. That kid just looks the part. I mean, Rick, he looks like a linebacker standing back there, and he's hitting those holes, and he's got a burst. So, you know, we all kind of were iffy when they traded the 11th pick, but I believe that 11th pick turned into Jahan Dotson, Brian Robinson, and Sam Howell.
Yeah.
And I believe the tight end that they got in the 6th round. So, you know, if you get 4 pretty decent players for one, I mean, I think we'll take that any day.
Yeah, it did work out well. I mean, their draft, I've been watching some in camp and all. I think they've got 4 players that are going to really help. A lot of Dotson, ironically, they didn't throw a pass to in the opener. Philadelphian Matthias. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he looked good.
He's a massive dude, and he had some nice plays in the opener. Cole Turner didn't play because of a minor injury, but this dude's a baller. He's going to get some chances. And Hal's going to be something for him, I think, in the end. Percy Butler, I saw make some plays. I mean, overall, this could be a really decent draft class for them.
Yeah, I see Percy Butler as a special teamer, maybe a back-end type of guy this year, and then next year, hopefully, he'll take the big jump. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, look, we got to talk Sam Howell. I'm wearing my Carolina blue. You got yours on, too. You and I have talked offline for a long time, ever since they made the selection. Sam Howell will be the starter of this team eventually. I do believe that if the Carson Wentz project doesn't go as planned this year, you know, they've only technically got him for this year. They can let him go next year with no ramifications. Heineke's a free agent at the end of the season. Sam Howell could be your starting quarterback next year. And look, this is a kid that was projected to go in the top 5 just a year ago. He stayed in school and he ended up dropping to the 5th round. I mean, you know, and it's nothing against him. He lost his running backs. He lost his wide receivers. Hell, one of them's here in De'Ami Brown. So look, you know, this kid may be the real deal. And look, I know it was one game, but you've seen him in practice. We saw what he can do with his legs. He's got a hell of an arm. He's just got to get more accurate. But I don't know, man. Sam Howell may end up being the real deal.
You never know. I was looking at Carolina, and I saw Sam Corral was 4th string. I thought, what?
Matt Corral, yeah.
I mean, Matt Corral. Where was he picked? He was very high.
Mm-hmm.
What? So
No. The only one that was picked high was Pickett.
I thought Corral was decent. Okay, so you know, it's one of those things where I think the quarterback can really shine. And people said, well, he's playing 3rd quarter. Well, I mean, in 3rd string, yeah, but I mean, he's playing with the 3rd string, and you watch what he did. He went down the field. He scored himself twice. Some nice runs that he did. He's got a big arm. I mean, I'm not saying Wentz is going to crash and fail. I'm just saying this guy eventually is going to be the guy.
Yeah, and to me, Wentz, and look, I'm the same caveat I give to Howell, I'll give to Wentz. It was one game, but Wentz reminds me a lot of Mark Brunell, which, as we talked about, is not a bad thing. Mark Brunell does hold the record for this team for consecutive completions. I don't know. It's just it's nothing He's not going to go out there and wow you. He will move the ball, as we saw. He was 10 for 13 for 74 yards. He missed a pretty couple decent downfield throws. One of them was dropped by I believe McLaurin, and one of them he just overthrew somebody. But I don't know. He's probably just going to end up being a dink and dunk guy down the field, relying on the run game, which, let's be honest, this team has 4 pretty decent running backs in Gibson, Robinson, and McKissick. And then I would say that the 4th starter is probably going to be Williams over Patterson. But it's nothing it's not going to be sexy. It's not going to be blowing up ESPN or Sports Center or any of that stuff, but it may be efficient. And this offensive line, is rated top 10 in the league. So he's going to be protected. He just has to get the ball out of his hands quicker.
Yeah, the running game looked very obvious. I've really liked a lot of Robinson. Standing next to him, he's a big guy, but watching him run, man, it's what they call the freight train, pushing through.
Yeah.
And fumbles early. And you're like, oh, man, this is, I was going to give Gibson the puncher's chance to stay the starter because Ron usually likes vets first. But, when he threw that ball on the ground, I was like, okay, well, so much for you. So that, and the defensive line, I thought the interior, Payne and Allen did very well. But they kept the defense was getting pushed back early. And I thought, well, we've seen this before. Mm-hmm. Everybody, I just like that they treated the game like a proper warm up because you only have 3 and you're not going to play anybody in the 3rd. Right. So in games, I'd like to see you play people a little bit so you're ready for the opening day. And they did that. It was a fair effort. By everybody around. We'll say special teams, we got to get somebody else to be returning kickoffs.
Yeah.
They got 2 from the back of the end zone, got to the 16, I think. It was just ridiculous. So I don't know why they got rid of the last guy and didn't keep him. Devontae.
He's signed with Chicago, I believe.
Yeah.
DeAndre Carter.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
DeAndre Carter.
Yeah. So he did a very good job last year, but he signed a minimum deal elsewhere. And you never know if the guy just wanted to go somewhere else or what. But, I like to live in LA too sometimes. But, that's just a strange thing. All right, moving on. I posted a bad version of it because I couldn't get the sound, but they debuted Hail to the Commanders. It sounded like something at a funeral where you're pushing the Viking ship off light it off, and then after the first touchdown, they didn't play anything. And I was like, where's the, they caught up to it with another faster version. But overall, everybody was like, blah, just play the music, screw the words, and people were going to sing Hail the Redskins anyway.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, I watched it on TV. There was a lot of Redskins gear in the stadium. So, obviously you're not going to be able to completely erase the history of the Washington Redskins right now. Not with this being the 3rd year that they're not called the Redskins. We have a lot of people that will refuse to call them the Commanders. Just play the song. That's all you got to do. Just have a band, just have the marching band record the music, and you don't have to put words to it. I mean, the video you posted, the quality wasn't very good. I kind of got a little bit of it, but I was like, it sounded like, I don't know, like a slow jazz or something. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. I mean, she sang the hell out of it. I give her that. Don't he sang, of course.
But I don't understand why. Look, this is Washington, D.C. This is the home of go-go. Make it a damn go-go song.
Oh, well, because Chuck Brown would have sang for 20 minutes and the game been late.
Well, luckily, look, Chuck Brown's gone. But I mean, I know the Wizards used Welcome to DC by the band Mambo Sauce. So look, get somebody like that. It's upbeat, it's fun, it's funky, it's native to this city. You want to include the Cherry Blossoms and Ben's Chili Bowl. Well, go-go goes hand in hand with Washington, DC.
Yeah, I still shake my head over all this. And then they posted on the big board the mascot choices, which you'll vote for all season. And it's a hog, a dog. I thought it was going to be a frog, but no. Then they went to historical figures and superhero. Okay, hog has to be it. I mean,
they posted the one that they picked in 3 choices that nobody will pick. Let's be honest here. A dog, really? What is famous? What dog is famous in DC? Look, you can go the historical figure route, but the Nationals got that market cornered with the racing presidents.
Yeah, I know. And so, they've screwed that up, in my opinion, making Teddy a joke. And Teddy was one of our greatest presidents. A dog. Well, Joe Biden's dog is Commander. The German Shepherd. But nah. And so I will say I got a merge between a dog and a superhero. Would be, you know who this is?
Underdog.
Dog.
We are the underdogs.
Yeah, perfect. There's no need to fear. Underdog is here, and they fly around the stadium. That'd be awesome.
Hey, that may be copyright.
Well, I don't know. It was back in the 60s. It's been over 50 years. Maybe
There you go. The Fair Use Act. There we go.
Oh, they'll say, "Oh, we wanted to do Underdog, but the other people wouldn't let it go." You kidding me?
Look, you didn't name the team Hogs, which you should have. They should have been the Washington Hogs or the Washington Warthogs or whatever you wanted to call them. You wanted to honor the past. We had the Hogs. Everybody's expecting Commander Hog. I mean, let's just do it. Let's get it done. We don't need to wait all season for this. Get a hog, put them in fatigues, get them marching down the field. Come on, let's do this. I mean,
but why do you even need one? You don't need one. They've never had a mascot.
Yeah, we had unofficial mascots.
Yeah.
Well, we had the Hogettes. We had Chief Z. I mean,
yeah, those were organic things that work best.
Right.
That's just crazy. All right, before we go talk about uniforms, because you love them, they displayed the white on white uniform, and I don't like singular colors because I think they melt. You need contrast. And women will tell you, my wife will tell me, you got to wear a different shirt than pants color or something. And I'm like, why? It all matches. She goes, then so I get a whole extra on that. But I kind of agree with that. You should have one different color.
Yeah.
And white, it just looks kind of invisible sometimes.
Yeah. And look, you and I had two different perspectives. Obviously, you were at the game. I was on TV. I told you before the show started, NBC4, for some reason, the picture was so bad. I couldn't even read the numbers. And then I switched over to Comcast Sportsnet and it was a little bit more clear. The white on white, I understand why they did it because hello, it's August 13th. You're expecting it to be 200 degrees outside. But look, the way I see it is, if you're going to wear the white pants with the white jersey, you need to put a stripe down the side. You need to put burgundy gold stripes down the side, or you need to wear red socks or burgundy socks. And they need to get rid of the gradient numbers. The gradient numbers were very hard to read on TV. Maybe it's because they're gradient with black or they're outlined in black. But see, like I told you, the thing is, this is all a money thing, Nike's going to redo that jersey in 2 to 3 seasons and make you go out and spend $300 on another jersey. If you really like the white one. The red jersey, I don't think they need to touch. I can't wait to see that on Sundays. I think that jersey is crisp. And then the black one, I need to see it in action, kind of like the white one. I needed to see the white one in action. But yes, in season, I believe they'll go white jersey, red pants. But as we've seen, I don't know if the reds are the same. The burgundy don't really match up all that well compared when they were standing next to each other on mannequins.
Yeah. People ask me how many of the new jerseys I saw in the crowd. Well, not many, because there wasn't much of a crowd. I'd say there was roughly 10,000 or so people there, which surprised me because it was a beautiful day. You could get tickets for $1 on some venues. And people said, well, they have things to do on Saturdays. I remember when this was a thing to do, come take your kid to a ball game for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't see much. Saw a lot of the old Redskins jerseys. There's a lot of Carolina fans there. I'd say they were about a third of the 10,000, which means there was like 7,000 Commanders fans. So I think it's just taking a while for the gear to filter through too, to people. Cause I still hear people saying, hey, I've been waiting forever for my jersey. So it's going to take a little while. I still expect Redskin jerseys to be the norm for several years.
Yeah. And last time I checked, you can't even buy the white or the black jersey online.
Wow. There you go. All right. Well, good show for we're back. We're going to be back again Thursday with the next one. We do short and sweets. So I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we'll be back Thursday.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent on the Hogstye Network.